The sun is beginning its descent over the Grand Canyon, and I've finally arrived at my campsite on the south rim. After hours of driving through northern Arizona, past scattered juniper trees and open desert, I'm here, standing at the edge of one of Earth's most magnificent places. I let my backpack slide from my shoulders and down onto the red earth. The weight lifts, and I take my first real breath of canyon air. It's different here, drier, thinner. There's a subtle scent of pine and dust mixed with something ancient, something that has lingered in this place for millions of years. The temperature is perfect right now, warm enough to be comfortable, but I can feel the promise of coolness that will arrive with nightfall. Desert nights are like that. They surrender their heat quickly once the sun disappears. I stand still for a moment, just taking it in. The canyon stretches before me, vast and impossibly deep. The late afternoon light is painting the rock walls in shades of amber, orange, and deep red. Shadows are beginning to pool in the lower sections, creating layers upon layers of color and depth. It's quiet here. Not silent, but quiet in a way that feels intentional, purposeful. I can hear the wind moving through the canyon, a soft whisper that rises and falls. Somewhere in the distance, a raven calls out, its voice echoing off stone walls that have stood for eons. I turn my attention to setting up camp. This is a familiar ritual, one I've done many times, and there's something deeply comforting about it. My tent is simple, lightweight, designed for solo adventures like this one. I spread the footprint on a flat patch of ground, away from the edge, but close enough to have a clear view. The fabric of the tent rustles as I pull it from its bag. My hands know what to do, connecting poles, threading them through sleeves, securing corners. Each movement is deliberate but unhurried. There's no rush here. The canyon has been waiting for millions of years. It can wait a few more minutes. As I work, I'm aware of the sun dropping lower. The light is changing moment by moment, becoming richer, more golden. The rocks across the canyon are now glowing, as if lit from within. Geologists call this the golden hour. And here at the Grand Canyon, it's easy to see why. My tent takes shape. I stake it down securely. The desert wind can pick up at night, and I want to sleep peacefully, knowing everything is safe. Next comes my sleeping bag, unrolled inside the tent. The familiar blue fabric, slightly faded from years of use. My pillow. A small lantern, not yet lit. I set up my camp chair facing the canyon and arrange a few other items. My water bottle within reach, a light jacket folded nearby for later, a small bag with trail mix and an apple. Simple pleasures, simple preparations. Everything is ready now. My little camp is complete. And the canyon? The canyon is putting on its evening show. I settle into my chair and simply watch. There's nothing else that needs to be done right now. Nowhere else to be. No messages to check, no appointments to keep. Just this moment, this place, and the slowly changing light. I decide to walk along the rim for a while before the light disappears completely. There's a trail here, worn smooth by countless visitors, that follows the canyon's edge. I leave my camp and begin a slow, easy walk westward. Each step feels good. My legs are a bit stiff from the drive, and the gentle movement helps them relax. The ground beneath my feet is solid, a mixture of hard-packed earth and exposed limestone. Here and there, small pebbles scatter as I walk. To my left, the canyon opens up in breathtaking vastness. To my right, scattered pinyon pines and junipers dot the landscape, their twisted forms shaped by wind and time. These trees are survivors. They've learned to thrive in this harsh, beautiful environment. I pause at a viewpoint where a weathered wooden sign provides information about what I'm seeing. Even though I've read about the Grand Canyon before, there's something different about learning while actually standing here, witnessing it firsthand. The canyon is deep, so deep that it's hard for the mind to fully grasp. From rim to river, it's over a mile down, more than 5,000 feet of vertical drop. And what's remarkable, what's truly extraordinary, is that every foot of that depth tells a story. I look across to the north rim, visible in the distance. Between here and there, carved by the Colorado River over millions of years, is a masterpiece of geology. The rocks reveal Earth's history in layers, like pages in an ancient book. The topmost layer, where I'm standing, is called Kaibab limestone. It's pale, almost cream-colored in certain lights, and it formed at the bottom of a shallow sea about 270 million years ago. I try to imagine this place underwater, warm seas full of marine life, shells and corals accumulating on the seafloor. That seafloor became this stone beneath my feet. Below the Kaibab, I can see the next layer, the Toroweap Formation, another limestone, slightly softer, slightly more yellow. And below that, the Coconino Sandstone, which glows almost white in the slanting sunlight. That sandstone was once a vast desert of sand dunes, not unlike the Sahara. The dunes turned to stone, preserving the ripples and cross-bedding patterns of ancient winds. Layer after layer, each one a different chapter. The Hermit Shale, red and crumbly. The Supai Group, with its distinctive terraced appearance. Then the massive cliffs of red wall limestone, which isn't actually red at all, but gray. The red color comes from iron oxide washing down from layers above, staining the surface over millennia. As my eyes travel downward, the rocks become older and older. The Muav limestone, the Bright Angel Shale, the Tape Yeats sandstone. And finally, far below, almost lost in shadow now, the oldest rocks of all, the Vishnu schist, dark and ancient, nearly 2 billion years old. 2 billion! It's a number almost too large to comprehend. I continue my slow walk, breathing steadily, feeling the cooling air on my face. The sun is lower now, touching the horizon, and the entire canyon is transforming. The colors are deepening, becoming more saturated. Reds turn to burgundy, oranges become copper, shadows lengthen and deepen. There's a peace in this, a quiet grandeur. Standing here, I'm connected to something far larger than myself. These rocks have witnessed the rise and fall of mountains, the coming and going of seas, the evolution of life from simple to complex. And they'll still be here long after I'm gone, continuing their slow dance with time and wind and water. I think about the people who've stood where I'm standing, indigenous peoples who considered this canyon sacred, who lived in harmony with its rhythms for thousands of years. Early explorers who viewed it with wonder and sometimes fear. Scientists who've dedicated their lives to understanding its secrets. The wind picks up slightly, carrying with it the scent of sage. I breathe it in deeply, feeling it fill my lungs. Clean air, desert air, air that has swept across hundreds of miles of wilderness to reach this spot. A small lizard darts across the path in front of me, pausing briefly on a sun-warmed rock before disappearing into a crack. Life here has adapted to extremes, scorching days and cold nights, limited water, intense sun. Yet life persists. It always finds a way. I reach another viewpoint and pause again. The sun is now a brilliant orange disk, half hidden behind distant mesas. The sky is transforming into a canvas of colors. Pale blue overhead, transitioning through yellow and orange near the horizon, with hints of pink and purple beginning to emerge. This is the magic hour, the time when the canyon reveals its full beauty. Every ridge, every cliff, Every formation is highlighted and shadowed in ways that make the landscape appear almost three-dimensional, like a relief map come to life. I stand perfectly still, just witnessing. My breathing is slow and steady. In and out, in and out. There's a rhythm to it that matches the timeless rhythm of this place. Eventually, I turn and begin walking back toward my camp. The light is fading now, transitioning from golden to dusky. The first stars are beginning to appear in the darkening eastern sky. It's time to return, to light my fire, to prepare for the evening ahead. Back at camp, I gather a small pile of wood I collected earlier. Dead branches from pinyon pines, bits of juniper, all completely dry and perfect for a campfire. In the metal fire ring, I arrange the wood carefully. Small twigs and bark at the bottom, medium sticks above, larger pieces on top. A classic teepee structure. The match strikes, and a small flame catches the bark. I crouch low and blow gently, feeding the fire oxygen. The flame grows, spreading to the twigs, beginning to crackle and pop. There's something primal and satisfying about building a fire. It's a skill humans have practiced for hundreds of thousands of years, and doing it here at the Grand Canyon feels like participating in an ancient tradition. Soon the fire is burning steadily, casting a warm orange glow. As darkness settles over the canyon, the fire becomes a focal point, a small beacon of warmth and light in the vast desert night. I settle into my camp chair, feeling the heat on my face and hands. The temperature has dropped noticeably now that the sun is gone. The jacket I set aside earlier is now draped over my shoulders. The desert's famous temperature swing is in full effect. For dinner, I've kept things simple. A freeze-dried meal. Not gourmet, but surprisingly satisfying when you're tired and hungry. I add hot water from my camp stove, seal the pouch, and wait for it to rehydrate. While I wait, I munch on crackers and cheese, washing them down with water that still carries a faint coolness from when I filled my bottle at the visitor center. The meal is ready, and I eat slowly, savoring each bite. There's no need to rush. The fire crackles companionably, and above, the stars are beginning to reveal themselves in earnest. More and more appear every few minutes as true darkness arrives. Between bites, I find myself thinking about the history of this place, about the people who explored it when it was still largely unknown to the wider world. And one name stands out above the others: John Wesley Powell. Powell was a remarkable man, a Civil War veteran who had lost his right arm at the Battle of Shiloh, yet refused to let that stop him from pursuing his passion for exploration and science. In 1869, with a small group of men and 4 wooden boats, he set out to do something nobody had successfully done before: navigate the entire length of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. I imagine what that must have been like. No maps, no certainty about what lay ahead, just faith in their abilities and a desire to explore the unknown. They launched from Green River Station in Wyoming Territory on May 24, 1869. 10 men in total, with provisions they hoped would last 10 months. The boats were pine, heavy, designed to withstand rapids. One was smaller, built for exploring side canyons. Powell named it the Emma Dean, after his wife. The journey was difficult, more difficult than any of them had imagined. The Colorado River through the canyons is not a gentle float. It's a series of rapids, some ferocious, separated by stretches of calmer water. The boats took a beating, so did the men. Food supplies, carefully packed at the beginning, were damaged in repeated capsizes. Bags of flour got wet, coffee was lost. They had to ration more strictly than planned. The work was exhausting. Rowing, portaging around the worst rapids, making camp on narrow beaches or rocky ledges, then starting again the next day. Powell himself couldn't row effectively with one arm, so he spent much of his time studying, observing, taking notes. He was a geologist and ethnographer, and even in the midst of the expedition's hardships, he was collecting data, making sketches, trying to understand the magnificent landscape they were passing through. The group entered the Grand Canyon itself in early August, after months on the river. By then, they were weathered, exhausted, running low on supplies. Tensions were high. The canyon walls rose higher and higher around them, blocking out much of the sky. In places, the river narrowed and the current strengthened, pushing them toward rapids they couldn't avoid. On August 27th, faced with yet another set of dangerous rapids, 3 of the men decided they'd had enough. They couldn't take it anymore. They chose to leave the river and climb out of the canyon, hoping to reach a Mormon settlement to the north. Powell tried to convince them to stay, telling them they were close to the end, but they'd made up their minds. Those 3 men, the Howland brothers and William Dunn, climbed up a side canyon and disappeared into the plateau above. They were never seen alive again. What exactly happened to them remains a mystery to this day, though it's believed they encountered a band of Shivwits Paiute who, in a tragic case of mistaken identity, killed them. Powell and the remaining 5 men continued down the river, and just 2 days later, on August 29, they emerged from the Grand Canyon. They'd made it. Against incredible odds, they'd successfully navigated the Colorado River through the most challenging section of its entire length. I finished my meal and set the empty pouch aside. The fire has burned down to glowing coals now, with occasional flames still licking around the remaining wood. The heat feels good, comforting. Powell returned to the Colorado River in 1871-1872 for a second expedition, this one better equipped and better documented. He went on to become the director of the U.S. Geological Survey and made significant contributions to the understanding of Western geology and the needs of arid land management. But it's that first expedition that captures the imagination, the sheer audacity of it. The courage required to keep going when every rational voice must have been saying to turn back. I look out at the dark canyon before me. Somewhere down there, hidden in shadow and distance, the Colorado River continues its work, cutting deeper, carving, shaping. It's been doing this for millions of years and will continue for millions more. The fire pops softly, sending a small shower of sparks upward. They float for a moment before winking out. Above, the stars have multiplied into thousands, then tens of thousands. The Milky Way is beginning to show itself, a pale, luminous band stretching across the sky. I add one more piece of wood to the fire, just enough to keep it going a bit longer. But soon, I'll let it burn down completely. Soon, I'll let the darkness fully arrive. Because that's when the real show begins. The fire has burned down to just glowing embers now, casting barely any light. I've let it fade intentionally because I want my eyes to fully adjust to the darkness. I want to see the stars as they truly are, without any competing light. I'm lying back now on a sleeping pad I've placed on the ground outside my tent. A pillow supports my head, and I'm wrapped in my sleeping bag, comfortable and warm despite the cooling desert air. Above me, the sky is extraordinary. Growing up, most of us live in places with light pollution. Cities, suburbs, towns, all of them create a glow that washes out the stars. We see the brightest ones, maybe a few dozen on a clear night, and we think that's the night sky. But this is the night sky as humans have seen it for most of our existence. This is the sky that inspired ancient astronomers, that guided sailors across oceans, that sparked questions about our place in the universe. There are so many stars, more than I can count, more than I can even focus on at once. They range from brilliant points of light to faint glimmers that disappear if I look directly at them, only to reappear in my peripheral vision. The darkness between stars isn't really darkness at all. It's filled with fainter and fainter stars, creating a tapestry of light that seems almost infinite. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a river of light. That's what it is, actually, a river of stars. We're looking edge-on at our own galaxy, seeing the combined light of hundreds of billions of stars, so distant they blend together into that luminous band. I can make out darker patches within the Milky Way. These aren't areas without stars. They're clouds of dust and gas, dark nebulae that block the light from stars behind them. Ancient peoples saw shapes in these dark regions. The indigenous peoples of the Americas saw different animals and spirits. To them, these dark patches were just as important as the bright stars. I locate familiar constellations. There's Ursa Major, the Great Bear, with the Big Dipper forming its back and tail. Following the pointer stars at the end of the Dipper leads my eye to Polaris, the North Star, steady and reliable in its position. For thousands of years, travelers have used that star to find their way. Cassiopeia, shaped like a W, sits on the opposite side of Polaris from the Big Dipper. According to Greek mythology, Cassiopeia was a vain queen who boasted about her beauty. The gods placed her in the sky, chained to her throne, forever circling the North Star. There's Cygnus, the swan, flying along the Milky Way. Its brightest star, Deneb, marks the tail. Along with Vega in Lyra and Altair in Aquila, Deneb forms the Summer Triangle, a prominent asterism still visible in the autumn sky. And there, low in the south, is Scorpius, the scorpion. Its bright red heart, the star Antares, pulses with a noticeably reddish hue. Antares is a red supergiant, hundreds of times larger than our Sun. If it were placed where our Sun is, it would extend past the orbit of Mars. I try to comprehend the distances involved. The nearest star to Earth after the Sun is Proxima Centauri, about 4.2 light-years away. That means the light I'm seeing from it tonight left that star over 4 years ago. I'm looking into the past. Most of the stars I can see with my naked eye are much farther away. Tens, hundreds, even thousands of light-years distant. That bright star in Orion's shoulder, Betelgeuse, it's roughly 550 light-years away. The light hitting my eyes right now left that star around the year 1475, before Columbus sailed to the Americas. And the Milky Way itself. Most of the stars I see in that band are between 10,000 and 60,000 light-years away. The light has been traveling through space for longer than human civilization has existed. It's humbling. Beautifully, wonderfully humbling. I'm lying here on a planet that's orbiting a star that's just one among hundreds of billions in our galaxy. And our galaxy is just one among hundreds of billions in the observable universe. And yet, I'm here, conscious, aware, able to look up and wonder about it all. A meteor streaks across the sky, bright and sudden. There one moment, gone the next. A small piece of cosmic debris, probably no larger than a grain of sand, burning up in Earth's atmosphere. Shooting stars, we call them, though they're not stars at all. But the name is poetic, and poetry has its own truth. The air is very still now. The earlier wind has died down to almost nothing. The temperature continues to drop, but I'm warm in my sleeping bag, comfortable, content. I think about all the people who've looked up at these same stars from this same place. Ancient Puebloan peoples, whose descendants still live in the region. Spanish explorers in the 1500s. American frontier settlers. Early park rangers. Tourists from around the world. We're all connected by this, by the simple act of looking up and feeling awe. There's a rhythm to the sky. The stars appear to move, of course, though it's really Earth's rotation that creates the illusion. Over the course of the night, different constellations will rise in the east and set in the west. Seasonal constellations will come and go. The moon, not visible tonight, follows its own cycle. Planets wander against the background stars, which is why the Greeks called them wanderers. Everything in the universe is moving. Earth spins. Earth orbits the sun. The sun orbits the center of the Milky Way, taking about 225 million years to complete one galactic year. The Milky Way itself is moving through space. part of a local group of galaxies, which is part of a larger supercluster. Motion within motion within motion. And yet, lying here, everything feels perfectly still, peaceful, as if time itself has slowed down. I notice my breathing has become very slow and deep. In and out. In and out. Steady. Calm. My body is relaxed, sinking into the sleeping pad. My mind is quiet, occupied only with the present moment and the vast sky above. Another meteor, then another, a few minutes later. Perhaps I'm seeing the edge of a meteor shower, or perhaps these are just sporadic meteors, the random debris that Earth encounters constantly as it moves through space. Satellites pass by occasionally, moving steadily across the sky, distinguishable from stars by their motion and the way they sometimes brighten or dim as they tumble. There are thousands of satellites orbiting Earth now, many of them helping us communicate, navigate, and understand our planet better. Another meteor, then another, a few minutes later. Perhaps I'm seeing the edge of a meteor shower, or perhaps these are just sporadic meteors, the random debris that Earth encounters constantly as it moves through space. Satellites pass by occasionally, moving steadily across the sky, distinguishable from stars by their motion and the way they sometimes brighten or dim as they tumble. There are thousands of satellites orbiting Earth now, many of them helping us communicate, navigate, and understand our planet better. But even with all our satellites and space stations and probes, we've barely begun to explore the universe. The farthest human-made object, Voyager 1, is just beginning to leave our solar system after traveling for over 45 years. At its current speed, it would take over 70,000 years to reach the nearest star system. Space is unimaginably vast, and yet, paradoxically, it's all connected. The atoms in my body were forged in the hearts of ancient stars that exploded billions of years ago. I am literally made of stardust. We all are. Carl Sagan said it beautifully. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. Lying here under this incredible sky, I understand that truth not just intellectually, but emotionally, viscerally. There's no separation between me and the universe. I'm not just in the universe, I am the universe, experiencing itself. The Milky Way glows overhead, magnificent and eternal. The stars shine with a steady, ancient light. The canyon below me, invisible in the darkness but ever present, continues its patient existence. And I am simply here, breathing, being, witnessing. Time passes, though I'm not sure how much. Minutes blur together. My eyes grow heavy, then alert again, then heavy once more. I'm in that beautiful state between waking and sleeping, where thoughts drift like clouds and everything feels dreamlike. Eventually, I know I should move to my tent. The night is growing colder, and while my sleeping bag is warm, I'll be more comfortable inside, sheltered from any wind that might pick up before dawn. But not yet. Just a few more minutes under these stars. Just a little longer in this perfect moment. I'm in my tent now, lying in my sleeping bag, perfectly warm and comfortable. The sleeping pad beneath me cushions me from the hard ground. My pillow is soft under my head. Everything is exactly as it should be. Through the mesh window of my tent, I can still see stars. Not as many as when I was lying outside, but enough. Enough to remind me where I am. Enough to maintain that connection to the vast universe above. The desert night is quiet in a way that's difficult to describe if you've never experienced it. It's not the absence of sound, it's a different quality of silence, a presence rather than an absence. The silence feels alive, full of possibility and space. Occasionally, very faintly, I can hear sounds. A gentle breeze passing through the pinyon pines near my campsite, causing needles to whisper against each other. It's a soft sound, barely audible, but soothing, like the earth itself is breathing. Somewhere in the distance, a cricket is making its rhythmic sound. Just one cricket, alone in the vast desert night, chirping in a steady pattern. There's something meditative about it, a natural metronome. I find my breathing unconsciously matching its rhythm. Every now and then, I hear a faint rustling, some small creature of the night going about its business, a kangaroo rat perhaps, or a desert mouse. These tiny animals wait for the coolness of night to emerge, when the risk of dehydration is lower and their predators are harder to see. The desert comes alive at night. Most people don't realize this. They think of deserts as empty, lifeless places. But the truth is very different. Deserts are full of life. You just have to know when and where to look. Owls hunt in the darkness, their wings silent as they glide through the air. Bats emerge from caves and crevices, using echolocation to navigate and catch insects. Coyotes patrol their territories, sometimes calling to each other with their distinctive howls, though none are singing tonight. I shift slightly in my sleeping bag, finding an even more comfortable position. My body feels heavy, relaxed, that good kind of tired that comes from a full day outdoors, from fresh air and natural light and gentle movement. My eyes close for a moment, then open again. The stars are still there, steady and eternal. I think about the morning that will come. Not soon, it's still hours away. But it will come, as it always does. Dawn at the Grand Canyon is a special thing. I've seen photographs, of course, but tomorrow morning I'll experience it firsthand. I'll witness the transformation as darkness gradually gives way to light. It will begin subtly. The stars will start to fade, the brightest ones persisting longer, but eventually succumbing to the growing light. The sky will shift from black to deep blue, then to lighter shades. The eastern horizon will brighten first, glowing with soft colors. And then the canyon itself will begin to reveal its form. The darkness that now obscures it will lift like a curtain. The massive walls, the towering buttes, the intricate network of side canyons, all of it will emerge from shadow. The light will touch the highest points first. The tops of mesas and buttes will glow with warm golden light while the depths remain in shadow. It's the reverse of sunset, a daily rebirth, a reminder that endings and beginnings are part of the same cycle. As the sun rises higher, the light will descend into the canyon, illuminating layer after layer of rock. The colors will intensify, reds becoming vibrant, oranges glowing, the pale limestones catching the light. Every detail will emerge, sharp and clear in the morning air. Birds will begin their songs, ravens will call to each other, swifts will dart through the air, catching insects. The canyon will wake up, just as I will wake up, and will greet the new day together. But that's tomorrow, that's hours from now. Right now, there's only this: the deep night, the silence, the feeling of being safely cocooned in my tent while the vast universe continues its eternal dance above and around me. My breathing is very slow now, deep and regular. In, through my nose, feeling my lungs expand. Out, through slightly parted lips, feeling my body relax even further. In and out, in and out. There's nothing I need to do, nowhere I need to be, no problems to solve, no decisions to make, just this simple, perfect state of rest. I can feel sleep approaching like a gentle tide. It comes in waves, a wave of drowsiness, then a moment of awareness, then another wave, deeper this time. My thoughts are becoming softer, less defined. They drift and blur and fade. The cricket continues its song. The breeze whispers through the pines. The earth turns slowly on its axis, carrying me through the night. I think, very distantly, about how fortunate I am to be here, to experience this place, to lie under these stars in this ancient landscape, to feel so small and yet so connected to everything. The Grand Canyon will be here tomorrow, and the day after, and for thousands of years beyond. It existed long before I was born, and will exist long after I'm gone. But right now, in this moment, I'm here with it. We're sharing this night, this slice of time. That's enough. That's everything. My eyes are closing again, staying closed longer this time. The darkness behind my eyelids is welcoming, comfortable, safe. Sleep is very close now. I can feel it. Like standing at the edge of a warm, gentle pool, knowing that one more step will immerse me completely. The sounds of the night continue, but they're becoming more distant, fading. Not disappearing, but receding into the background. Everything is soft. Everything is peaceful. The canyon rests in darkness below. The stars shine above. And I rest between them, suspended in this perfect moment, warm, safe, drifting. My breathing is barely perceptible now, quiet and slow, natural, easy. In and out, in and out. The cricket sings, the breeze whispers, the earth turns. And sleep, gentle, restorative sleep, arrives like a friend I've been waiting for. Tomorrow will bring the sunrise. Tomorrow will bring new light and new beauty. But tonight is for rest. Tonight is for sleep. Deep, peaceful, complete sleep. Under the stars, at the Grand Canyon, where time moves slowly, and all is well. All is well.